Let's get some analysis on this now, and let's speak to political analyst and lecturer at the University of the Free State, Sanet Solomon. Thank you so much indeed, Solomon, for joining us. And I mean, there had been some expectation that the announcement would go the way that it did this morning. I mean, judging from what Helen Zille had been saying over the past couple of months, she had hinted in terms of putting her hat in the race for being the mayoral candidate for the DA ahead of the 2026 local government elections. Certainly no surprise there, you think?
I don't think that it was surprising. I think that she had a very strong chance. The DA did mention that they were considering 12 other applicants, but if you had to take or go just based on experience, she would have emerged as the better candidate given her experience as both a mayor and also a premier. So I think that it was just a matter of confirming that. And I think that they were possibly considering her as the best candidate from the onset.
I mean, let's look at Helen Zille. She is from Johannesburg. I mean, she even mentioned, that she went to school here. Let's talk about her being a seasoned politician. She is a seasoned politician. Mm-hmm. And let's start there. She also has the experience of being mayor. Mm-hmm. How much weight does that carry? Given the fact that the DA has announced her as mayoral candidate here in Johannesburg, having previously been mayor, she would sort of have the know-how of how to perhaps sway the electorate on selling the key points of what possibly the citizens of Johannesburg would want to see.
That's quite true. I think having been from Johannesburg, having witnessed Johannesburg at its glory time, I think that gives her an added advantage. That coupled with the fact that she is from one of the biggest metros that have been successfully run in terms of governance, as well as clean audits, I think that also gives her a competitive advantage. I think that being from Johannesburg would obviously also give her an added advantage because she would know which neighborhood to target, how to tailor the campaign, and also what needs to be done. And I think that while considering other applicants possibly for this position, I think that that's something that they took into consideration. And I think that, as she highlighted, that they would like to do this consultation, etc. But she also has the experience for it. And I think that if she actually were to be elected mayor, I think that this would be an interesting journey to see whether or not they'd be able to replicate what they've done in Cape Town in terms of Johannesburg.
Some of her key selling points would be, I mean, she touched on, issues relating to, in fact, we heard John Steenhuisen talk about the management of a DK in Johannesburg. That is what is happening now. And Helen Zille, of course, would want to sell to the people of Johannesburg, possibly touch on, key issues that, the grassroots Johannesburg resident is concerned about when it comes to the issue of service delivery. We're talking about your potholes, refuse being picked up in front of your yard. Those are the basic issues that the residents would be concerned about, you think?
I do believe so. I think that she did emphasize water a lot because that is a problem that's both experienced both in your suburban areas as well as in the townships like Alexandra, Tembisa, Soweto, etc. So that's something that they did emphasize. They did emphasize infrastructure development in both her speech as well as John Steenhuisen's speech. But I also think that they want to focus on economic growth, which is something that is quite a big problem. We know that there was a time when Johannesburg was thriving, given its obviously economic capacity and abilities. And I think that that's something that she would want to tackle because it would also assist them in terms of dealing with poverty, inequality, as well as economic growth opportunities that would translate into job creation. And I think that if they are able to successfully navigate the next 2-3 years, that might result in them doing exceptionally well in the 2029 elections. So I think that's why they focus on those issues that they know are quite pressing, but it is also the small wins that will guarantee a very good turnout and output for them in the 2029 elections.
I think I had a bit of a chuckle, and I think most South Africans did, and we did see quite a backlash from some ANC members after the comments made by the ANC president, Cyril Ramaphosa, when he was addressing, councillors regarding DA municipalities and their performance. Of course, we were going to see Helen Zille mention that the ANC president himself, having said that the DA gets things done, we're certainly bound to see a lot of the use of what the ANC president said in a lot of the DA's campaigning, even here in Johannesburg, isn't it?
That's so true. I think that they might even use it as a soundbite during their campaigns. I think one of the things that he was trying to do was to emphasize that the DA has managed to receive a lot of clean audits, the municipalities are generally well governed, etc. But I think that his choice of wording, unfortunately, will haunt his political party even when he leaves office or his position as the leader of the ANC in 2027. And I definitely think that this is one of those things that the DA can use as its political messaging. It's definitely something that will resonate with its support base, but it also has the capacity to win over some people who were on the fence or uncertain about whether or not they would want to, because we do know that while people may vote for a certain political party at a national level, it doesn't stop them from voting for the DA, for example, in a local government election. If you are living somewhere where the current administration is unable to give you the water and basic services that you need, definitely if your president is advocating for another political party, whether it be intended or unintended, that's definitely something that might sway voters.
And, in the words of the ANC president, in fact, I want to play a clip now. And I mean, the ANC president sought to clarify what he was saying, because as I indicated, there'd been some feathers that also been ruffled within his own political party. Him basically saying that what he meant to say was that the Democratic Alliance was good on compliance, but bad on transformation. Ms. Solomon, I want us to take a listen to this clip and let's dissect that in the context of what you said. Could be possibly something that could come back to haunt the ANC president. Let's take a listen to what the ANC president had to say.
Those municipalities that do best are not ANC-controlled municipalities. And I can name it here because there's nothing wrong with competition. They are often DA-controlled municipalities. We need to ask ourselves, what is it that they are doing that is better than what we are doing? And there's nothing wrong with us saying we want to go and see what Cape Town is doing. We want to go and see what Stellenbosch is doing. How do they craft everything? We need to be moving up the ladder of being good at what we do. We cannot forever stay at the bottom. It hurts me deeply when I continue to see that our municipalities sometimes tend to move even backwards.
All right, that was the immediate, that was of course the initial statement that had been made by the ANC president, Cyril Ramaphosa. That's what, of course, got some members of his political party quite upset about the sentiments that he made. And you did mention, Ms. Solomon, that those words, irrespective of how they'd been crafted, irrespective of what the ANC president says, when I indicated, of course, that he said he had basically meant they were good on compliance, but bad on transformation, that won't really sit well with some are even saying it sort of looks like decampaigning. But how would you even have the ANC president decampaign his own party? But some, of course, would be labeling it as that, especially on the opposition side.
Definitely. I think one of the key things which speechwriters always emphasize on is the choice of words. I think that this is obviously a PR nightmare. It's not necessarily something that you would want your president to say, especially during this time where they are campaigning for the upcoming elections. I think that wording would have been important. I think here he could have said that we could learn from the municipalities that are doing exceptionally well, and he could have said that these were some of the things that we were looking at in terms of these municipalities, etc. By singling out specific municipalities, especially given that these are in DA territory, for lack of better wording, I actually think that he is campaigning indirectly for the DA, and I can understand why this would be a cause of concern for the African National Congress, particularly during this time. And I could understand why this would also cause turmoil in terms of the political parties' internal dynamics. It is well documented that the ANC has been struggling with governance, and that there have been a lot of municipalities that have not received clean audits, municipalities that are even under administration, etc. And I think that possibly what would be emphasized, or what could be emphasized here, is that the DA will be using this for their campaigning. I think that it is an easy win for them. I think that wording is important, and I think sometimes I understand the need to be charismatic and to acknowledge what is happening with regards to your municipalities and its shortcoming. But I definitely think sometimes it might just help to read from the teleprompter to avoid such a faux pas.
Sanet Solomon, thank you very much indeed. On the backdrop of that announcement, of course, of the DA's Johannesburg mayoral candidate, Helen Zille. She's been announced for the 2026 local government elections. Certainly not much of a surprise there, given, all the speculation that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. She also giving a hint about her interest in wearing the mayoral chain, as they would say.